It's the annual Strat-O-Matic Ratings Bonanza, AL Central style. Diamond Diehards is on. Joe Rizzo here, bringing you baseball, Strat-O-Matic baseballs. We get back to our roots of the show, along with the dog, Jeff Healy, and Jerry Milani, the great Jerry Milani, helping us out with the Strat-O-Matic view from the insider's vision. We will talk now about the AL Central ratings for the 2022 set. If you are a fan of Strat-O-Matic, you totally get it. If not, then I don't know, listen along. It's pretty good fun banter between the three of us, and we talk about players and their fielding ratings. So the Strat-O-Matic set will be out in a few weeks, available to the buying public. But depending on when you're listening to this, it could be opening day, it could be whenever. So it's what we like to call an evergreen episode, and we are glad to bring it to you. Our format this year is we are doing 6 episodes for you, and we are doing them by division. This is the AL Central, and these are all done as quick hits. We will go by position as well, and that is thanks to the dog, who is an expert at making spreadsheets and sorts and letting the idiots like me trying to figure it out. That being the case, we start out at catcher in the AL Central. There is 1-1, and Jerry Milani, that man's name is Austin Hedges.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty clear, good choice. We talked about this on a previous episode. The catcher defense is the one that, and when we did the Twitter and we were announcing different players, we ended up with a few catchers in there just to mix them in, because we really didn't do that many catchers last year. And some of the comments were, why are you doing catchers? Least important is. It's weird because in regular baseball, your catcher defense is so important, and defense is still important among the catchers, but the rating, the 1, 2, 3, 4, their range is not as big an issue, but it does reward what I think are the best catchers. If you look at the 1s and the 2s in here, the Luke Malley and the Austin Hedges with a 1, and even, scrolling down and seeing Sandy Leon with a 2. Those are your, I think, acknowledged best defensive catchers in the division.
Dawg, Salvador Perez, the mainstay in Kansas City, gets a 2. I feel like he's just always a 1, but he gets the 2 this time.
Yeah, it's tough, right? I mean, he's obviously been around a while, veteran catcher. Great reputation, well earned and stuff. Father Time has a vote too, so we might be starting to see that.
I'd still take him. Gary Sanchez, Twins. His year with the Twins.
Yeah, he draws the 4. He's always been that guy that has got the great throwing arm, and I don't know, does he call a good game? Catchers don't call games anymore anyway, so it's hard to even know whether he calls a good game or not. Is he somebody that the Yankee pitchers wanted to throw to? Not really, but there he is. He got his 4. He probably is a 5 if you're honest with it yourself, but 4.
Tucker Barnhart from the Tigers is pretty much the only other regular there that's not mentioned, and he gets the 3. So
the gentleman 3.
Yeah. Austin Hedges on the move, by the way. I think he's now signed with the Pirates, right? So he's off of the Guardian roster over there. All right, we move to first base. It starts to get a little bit more exciting, but we do not have the benefit of really many good fielders at first base in the AL Central. And
yeah, it's kind of ugly.
Nick Pratto, the rookie from the Royals, is the only 1 or 2, and he's a 2. Jerry, have we ever seen something like this before in an entire division? There's only 1 fielder at a position that's above a 3.
It's even a 2. Yeah, I mean, we saw not having a 1 in the American League East in first base, but now not having a 1 at all in the Central. Teams have devalued defense overall. So if you're going to have a guy and he's going to slug, and it's like a second DH these days, first base, even less important, I think, than it's been now. Does it change with the shift ban, and does it make a premium moving forward of having more athletic, more acrobatic fielders because you're going to have more balls in play? Maybe, but yeah, I mean, it's the way it divides out. Sometimes divisions, I mean, look at the NFL. You've got a division with no winning teams in it. It just happens that this division has a first base pool that doesn't have a lot of great defensive players, but it has some good offensive players in there. So you have to kind of take the good with the bad.
Dawg has explained it before, but Dawg, can you do it again? Maybe just give a little explanation of why you think teams have devalued defense here in this era.
Yeah, it's just that you're not getting the chances throughout the game, right? And with the three outcomes that you're getting much more strikeout, walk, and homers, right? And that's all guys are kind of going for. So therefore, you know, the need to have a good fielder, particularly on the infield, is just less and less.
So you have some studs over there, but notably Jose Abreu on the move from the White Sox to Houston. Before he departs, he leaves with a 3 at first base. Josh Naylor rocks the baby, and he gets a 3 as well. I think if he's playing there more and regularly, he's got a chance to maybe move up and improve his fielding rating. Hunter Dozier, who I think has been I think he's been above a 3 somewhere in the past, is a 3 at first. And Alex Kirilloff, who's usually an outfielder for the Twins, did spend enough time at first base to get the 3 over there. Like everybody else is a 4. Andrew Vaughn, Owen Miller, like he played there a bunch for the Guardians. All the other Royals that played at first, Rhino Horn, Vinny Pasquantino, Emmanuel Rivera. I think Pasquantino's got a chance to move out of that 4 maybe next year. And you know, who else? Miguel Sano. Does anybody care at this point?
4. Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of Gary Sanchez got the 5 at first. Oh, we should mention Spencer Torkelson, the Tiger rookie, didn't have the year that anybody was hoping he would have in the state of Michigan. At least he gets the 3. So that's not bad. He's got a lot of work to do as a third baseman who's moving over to first. I watched a bunch of the Tigers games, got to see him in person in Detroit last year before he got sent down. He did not look comfortable yet at first, but I guess as a third baseman, they're hoping he can be a pretty good first baseman. American League batting champ Luis Arias gets the 4 over there for the Twins. We move on to second base. And in the American League Central, the second base position is better than the first base position. Jerry, it is better, right, Jerry?
It is better. So Jonathan Scope, moving over, playing for the Tigers, not the kind of season he wanted offensively, but he gets the 1 there, and he's a good. Andres Jimenez also getting a 1. So you've got a couple of the premier fielders in the league, I think, at second base, both there. I think that you know, they wanted more from Scope. I don't think that was the season that they expected, but also, you know, he does get the 1. I think he was a 2 in Baltimore, so that's the improvement there.
It's kind of weird with Jonathan Scope. Like when he could hit, he was like a 4, and then he stopped hitting, and his defense got good. But Dawg, I want you to tell me about Andres Jimenez as a Met fan and a Met connoisseur. You got to watch him come up. You got to see him get his cups of coffee in Flushing, and you knew this was there. Yep. And it's not only that he fielded, but he hit. I mean, that trade, considering the Guardians, then the Indians kind of had to make it. You know, Jimenez kind of arrived pretty quickly, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he was one that we were waiting out for a while as Met fans, and we're pretty excited for it. You know, obviously Lindor's worked out pretty well for the Mets, so I can't complain on too much. But yeah, they gave up talent to get him, and certainly Jimenez was one that you knew was going to be a good player. and has gone out and achieved it. Right. So he's playing second. He came up as a shortstop. And clearly had the count to be there. So, wouldn't surprise me if he got shifted over at some point. If there's a need over at short, I think he'd go out and get it done as well. But yeah, absolutely at first base, great. And I guess he was renowned mostly for his fielding, and his hitting was expected to be good as well. And the hitting probably came along a little bit faster and quicker than people had expected.
And he's already a 2 at short. So if he does get the regular time over there, that
yeah,
is,
he's a legit like top fielder.
yeah, he is. He is. Danny Mendick gets a 2, and he's like, if you look at the spelling of his last name, it's kind of a funny Fordham thing that has to do with Strat and his being an N. But yeah, inside joke. Nicky Lopez, I think, had been a 1, right, at second and short, and he gets a 2 at second and short, and he's a 3 at third for the Royals, maybe due to a little, maybe less playing time, or he was just moved around a little more. It's 3s like everywhere else, Lurie Garcia, Josh Harrison, Gabriel Arias. Let's see if we're missing anybody in there. Jorge Polanco. Yeah. Jorge Polanco gets the 3 at second. He's a 4 now at third. I think he had been maybe a 4 at both. So that's probably like decent for him. The Tigers probably hope Willie Castro is going to do better than his 4s around the infield. And he's a 3 in the corners in the outfield, but somehow Billy Hamilton played second base.
I was about to say that too. When did he get those?
Well, I think he came up as a second baseman with the Reds. I think he played there.
I mean, he's just such a designated pinch runner at that point. It's just unusual to kind of see that. I mean, I kind of vaguely remember him a little bit in the outfield, but it's surprising to see him actually getting the starts. And
he played some regular. He used to play regular outfield.
Yeah, back in the day and stuff. Yeah, but just now it's just funny to see for last year that he got enough starts at second to get numbers there.
He might not have started. It might have just been one of those where he got a few innings there. He pinch ran in the 10th inning as a ghost runner in the top of the 10th, and had to go play, second base in the bottom of the inning.
The ghost 4.
Jerry Richie Palacios gets the 5.
Not Ray Palacios.
Not Ray Palacios. I wonder if that's his son. And somehow this is like one of these funny things. Like Andrew Vaughn, actually played second base at one point for the White Sox last year. That must have been a treat to watch. Like Andrew Vaughn, this big Hulk, playing over at second base. Oh, Miller actually a little bit better at second. He's a 3 over there. There's another Palacios, Jermaine Palacios, in the additional players. He's a 3.
It's got to be really. We'll have to look those up and see if there's a relation there. It's 2 Palaciosian.
Dos Palacios.
Dos Palacios.
And American League batting champ Luis Arias with the 4 at second with the basic 3. So that rounds out the second base position in the AL Central. On to third base. And third base is always interesting because it's the hot corner, but not so hot in the Central of the American League. If you want ones, because there ain't none. Another position where there ain't no ones. So no ones at first and no ones at third, but just only 3 total. So between first and third in the AL Central, you have a total of 4 players with a 2 rating, as much as a 2 rating, and no ones.
You're
it's an additional
2s.
And now they're getting rid of the shift.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, well, second base is probably going to be more affected from the shift than third base. I think second base will be the position where we're hiding guys more than in the years past, where now you're going to have to play a more athletic guy at second base. He's not going to have that limited cutoff time, and maybe third it affects a little bit too. But look at your third base. You got Jose Ramirez, who's obviously premier fielder at third base. Gio Urshela, who we briefly mentioned or thought about him, at least when we were talking about Donaldson with the Yankees. I think Urshela at least the equivalent of Donaldson at third, so 2 makes a lot of sense. And then those are your prime third basemen, and then Emmanuel Rivera getting a 3 also there for the Royals. But I think your two premier defensive third basemen in the division. They've assigned them twos.
Yeah. It's well, and Urshela on his way now to the Angels for next season. So I mean, like Jose Ramirez is just owns third base in the division as far as defense is concerned. Yeah, none of these like young guys really jumped in. Like Bobby Witt Jr., he's a guy that a lot of people have had their eye on. He's a 4 at third. I think he ended up with more innings at third than he did at short. Eventually, he kind of moved over to short, but he didn't start there. He's a 4 at third, a 4 at short. He's a basic 3 rating, and but that's only at third. He had the worst fielding metrics of any regular player last year at both of those positions, which is scary. I was just looking those fielding things up. Like, so, take what you want from fielding metrics. I didn't get to see Bobby Witt Jr. a lot last year, so it was hard for me to do what we like to do, like Dawg always says, the eye test. I'm a big fan of the eye test in combination. Like, I like to marry it to the metrics and say, these are metrics, is this what I'm seeing? Yes, no, whatever. But Bobby Witt Jr., if you go by metrics, he's got some work to do, and Strat is backing that up. But first year player, and offensively, he's off to a very good start in his career. And Yohan Moncada, I think he slipped in there with a 3. I don't know if we got him. So he started out really having like a horrible season as well. And the White Sox definitely will need him to bounce back to some previous form. Jerry, if he was playing with the Braves right fielder and the Braves right fielder batted first and the White Sox third baseman batted second, how would you call out that order, that top 2?
I'll go do that again.
Acuna
Matata means
Yeah.
all. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Let's go that way. It means no worries.
They were once taken first and second in my fantasy draft. I'm not making that up.
That is funny.
Acuna Moncada. That did happen. Okay. To short before the break. Once again, no ones, Dawg, but at least here it's like pretty much every team has at least 1, 2. Some of them have 2.
Yeah. I'm pretty much steady across there. X-Met again. I'm at Rosario. I'm hanging in with the 2 there for the Guardians, and then left. I remember he was actually looking at center, but they wound up settling at left because they had Straw come in for him there. Correa, looking forward to see him coming over. Maybe we'll move him up to a 1 at 3 next year, Jerry, over at third base there for us.
Well,
inside baseball there.
Seen guys. Well, no, you've seen guys who, will he get like some innings at short and some at third, or will they do like what the Yankees did when they moved Rodriguez and he went to third? He played third. Like when Jeter couldn't play for something, they put another guy there and he kept playing third. So it'd be interesting to see where that kind of falls. If Mo plays 162 games, what do they do with those 15 games that he's not playing short? Will they move Correa over to play, or will they just let him be the third baseman?
Yeah, my guess is they'd have Guillorme go play short, who's a pretty good fielder there, and just keep Correa there if you're gonna move him out of position, get him to continue to stay with it. Yeah, keep it stable. Or pretty much where he feels like.
but for your last year, you've got like Riz, like you said, Mondesi, you've got a lot of 2s. I bet every team has a 2 or multiple 2s at short. And one thing we saw when we did the Twitter, we sent out a lot of the guys were shortstops that were just of most interest. So we posted them, and there were, we haven't run into them here yet, but there's a lot of 1s and 2s, and there's a lot of good shortstops out there. And it's not only graded on a curve, a little bit it is. Because why can you have so many guys who are the best second baseman and best shortstops? Well, if they are, they are. If you're a great fielder, you're a great fielder. It doesn't have to just be graded on a curve.
Yep.
A little disappointing. Javi Baez, his first year in Detroit, he somehow drops to a 3. I got a problem with that. He's so good. Like
I don't know. He was coming down a little bit, I thought.
I don't know. He's just so good in the field. Like I just like I know he was hurt and whatever. Like I feel like he should just get a 3 out of respect. Like he shouldn't have dropped so quickly to the 3. But okay, it's not the first time that happened. I expect that if he plays a full season, he's back to a 1. I mean, really,
I mean, his
that's
full season was so bad. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
and the Tigers were such a disappointment. And again, it's some of that is when the team goes down, everybody goes down with the ship, and you start start playing for yourself.
He was playing second.
And you don't
with the
play
Mets,
better
right?
when you're playing for yourself, and it just maybe that's all a symptom of that. And yes, if you have a Javier Baez has the kind of season he should have in the field, he should be a 2.
I mean, you're telling me that he was that the Tigers with Ryan Kreidler at short and Javi Baez at short were both playing at the same level. All due respect to Ryan Kreidler, but anyway, but like Adalberto Mondesi, he's in there as a computer player because he broke his leg right at the start of the season. He maintained a 2 over there for the short amount of time that he played. Of course, that was because of like a complete injury that like knocked out his entire season practically before it started, but I don't know. And for the strat, so this is one of those for like the deep strat people who play in like these redraft leagues where you just throw all the players into a pot and you draft. Elvis Andrus gets the 2. And, a lot of times like you're making your draft, you're trying to put together your team. You're like, I'm just going to punch shortstop if I can't get the top guy. And I'm just going to get one of these guys like late who can kind of play defense. And like, there's your Elvis Andrus guy. Like he's, I'm trying to think of guys that I used to do that with. Steve Jeltz, just picking up a recent guy to do that with. There was one of the guys, I can't remember. Oh man, Nefi Perez was that guy for me. Guy was like always a 2. I'm like, I just need a 2 who's like N against righties. That's what I want.
Stillwell.
Kurt Stillwell. No, Kurt Stillwell was a 3. I don't think he
was a 3.
2. I don't think he was ever a 2. All right. Before we get to the outfield, a little business. Dawg, the ride is dirty. Where do you go?
Big Ed's Car Wash, Fair Lawn, New Jersey.
So if you're in the Bergen and Passaic County areas in New Jersey, go to Big Ed's Car Wash, 17-16 River Road in Fair Lawn. A clean and green operation all the way. Your car will exit cleaner than you could imagine. And the thing is, inside and out, and the thing is, especially outside, it stays, I don't know how it does it. It stays cleaner longer than whenever I would take it to another place. Ed, I don't know how you do it, but it's amazing. And go to Big Ed's Car Wash, especially with all the bad weather that's coming. Keep your ride clean. And if you're like, well, I don't live anywhere near Big Ed's Car Wash, but I'd like to, then contact the Mascolo Group. They're serving all of your real estate needs in the Northern and Pascack Valley in New Jersey, all of Northern New Jersey. Go to GaryMascolo.com or call 201-615-3665. And then once you do move, you want to get the word out. You want to be old school and send out like change of address postcards. But for all of your printing and promotional needs, you're going to go to FMSgraphics.com. FMSgraphics.com is a family-run, family-owned business for the last 50 plus years. And of course, if you're smart, you said, wait, it's .com. How is it owned for 50 plus years? Because there was no .com back then. Well, guess what? The sign of a good business is one that can adjust with the times. That's what FMS Graphics has done. And that's why you should go to them for your printing and promotional needs. If you're all stressed out about hearing about this, concentrate on your health and wellness. Go to Gatto Acupuncture and Wellness in Glen Rock, New Jersey. Dr. Melissa will take care of you. Dog's already rubbing the shoulder. He's due for one. He's going to get all the stress out one day. He's going to go to Big Ed's and get the truck cleaned, and then see Dr. Melissa at GattoAcupuncture.com. Go to GattoAcu.com or call 551-212-3845. As we do for all of these, for all of our supporters. I say it fast. We get through it. You don't have to go and rewind 100 times. If you're on, no matter where you're checking this out, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Facebook, wherever you're finding it, just go to the description of the episode and the links to all of our sponsors are right there. And we thank them very much. Back to the show. The AL Central Division. We are into the outfield now. And boy, if this isn't like the peak of excitement, we have a 1 in left field. The rookie Dawg, the rookie from the Guardians gets the 1 in left.
The Quan we needed. Stephen Kwan, yes. Stephen Kwan coming out there, getting a 1. Finally a left fielder, getting a little bit of respect out there. So very happy to see that. Happy to see that out there.
Definitely played to it. And Jerry Kwan was very interesting, not for the glove, but for the bat, right? Because I believe he won his first 122 plate appearances without a swing and miss or something like that, right? Or wasn't it something?
Yeah,
like
it's kind of like a new age, is the game trying to switch its way back there? Are there some guys who are being valued for that because there's so many strikeouts in the game? Are there ways to now make that be the efficiency, that you get guys who make contact and make things happen? And by the way, be a Gold Glove left fielder in your rookie year, and antagonize all the Yankee fans. Not really antagonize the Yankee fans. The Yankee fans antagonized him. He and Miles Straw got into that the whole mess with the Yankee faithful early in the season. But, the guy came, out of nowhere, right? Not maybe even a top prospect on a lot of people's radar, but he came in and was an important part of a division winning team.
Dawg, AJ Pollock is one of the guys the Mets have been rumored to be kicking the tires on. He gets the 2 in left.
Yeah, nice, steady fielder, good hitter, stuff. So good all around player, and a great fit out there for the Sox.
Does that pique your interest more as a Met fan, saying, "Oh wait, we got a guy who's a 2 out there that we could bring in"?
Yeah, now we're finally on our defense kick, right? So now kind of matters again. Yeah, Canada's okay, and they got him signed for a couple more years, right? So I think they'll be kind of. I think also sort of talked about that quickly earlier, that there might be something they start steering Beatty towards. They sort of one of the top guys in the system. Came up a cup of coffee in September and the playoffs. Now with third base blocked, he was sort of like third base. They're really kind of thinking he might have been a little big for third base. They might have to go to the outfield. And I think I would expect to see him get a lot of time in left field in spring training, and he might even wind up down AAA to kind of get seasoned up, get ready to go on that. But I think he might be kind of the answer there.
Okay, Adam Engel, no surprise for the White Sox, gets the 2 in left. He's a 2 everywhere in the outfield. That's kind of what you expect. Akil Baddoo didn't play as much this season for the Tigers, gets the 2 in left. And we were talking about Billy Hamilton before, and his rare appearances, holds on to a 2 still in left field. He's in Strat, he's your pinch runner and a defensive replacement in left field. He's not really going to hit anything for you. The only other 2 in left in the AL Central is Kyle Isbell from the Royals. So the Royals have had a few good guys there in the outfield. It hasn't necessarily, in the field in terms of the Strat ratings, even though it didn't always translate on the field in terms of wins versus losses. Who else do we want to talk about? Robbie Grossman, before he got traded, he's a 3 in left and right. He ended up on the Braves. He's a free agent now. I don't think he's signed anywhere. If he did, you guys can correct me.
Fran Mil Reyes got the 5.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
See, he's so far
Left
down.
and
I didn't even see him
because he's all the way at the bottom of the spreadsheet.
It's a mix. What is a mix?
Mix means he played. He's got the American League and the National League.
He's going to have separate cards. Yeah, they still do that now. I don't know if moving forward will they do that, because now there's really no distinct difference between the leagues. Yeah. But will they do that? Maybe. I should ask you something I should ask about. It's been a tradition that going all the way back, if a guy stays within the league, he keeps a card, and they just move the card to the new team. And if he plays multiple leagues, they give you a separate card. Oddibe McDowell had 2 cards our year when we played back in the year, I remember. And one was good and one wasn't good. And I usually had the wrong one.
Yeah, and we used to remember what we used to do. You had to play the card, like you could play the card in either order, but whichever card you played second was the card that you used for the playoffs.
Oh, see, I never made the playoffs, so I don't remember.
No, I don't know if it was in our league, but that's the
Yeah.
way we used to do it in another league that I was in. And one year I had Kevin Mitchell, and I was like, oh boy, I gotta use this like secondary card. He's got less power, but like you can't keep him off base. And I really don't remember how it worked out, but you know, Kevin Mitchell's Kevin Mitchell. So
Another 5. Eloy Jimenez got a 5.
oh well, he earned it.
Yeah.
I mean, the White Sox have so many 5s out there. Like Andrew Vaughn, we said before, right? Was
Gavin Sheets.
oh my goodness, Gavin Sheets. Oh, they have so many DHs, and
They need
not
to go get these guys back here behind me again. The 8 men out.
yeah. Oh, I was just watching it last night.
Such a good movie,
Yeah. Poor
right?
Buck. Poor Buck.
As a movie, just as a movie, it's a great movie.
Is anybody trying to clear Buck Weaver's name still? He tried to clear his name every year,
Yeah,
but unsuccessful.
there's nobody fighting. There's nobody fighting for him. There's nobody fighting for Joe Jackson. There's nobody fighting for any of those guys anymore.
I know. Well, maybe I think that maybe FanDuel or DraftKings could sponsor a bill to get these guys back in the Hall of Fame.
Maybe Chick Gandal's relatives.
Chicken. Eddie Seacoat. Man.
Michael Rooker played Chick Gandil in the movie, and I've gotten to meet and know Michael Rooker a little bit from my Comic-Con days, and he absolutely loved that role. It was his favorite thing he ever did, he said.
Oh, he did it so well. He was such
He's so good at it.
He was such
He's
a
such an
red
intense
ass
guy. Yeah.
Oh, he was such a red ass. I felt
So
like I
bad.
felt that all the way.
Yeah, he's great
So
in that
good.
role.
Oh, so good. Tell him I said hi. We'll get him on the show. He'd love this show. Are you kidding me? He'd
He
love
would
it.
love this show. He
He
would.
would. He might not love this episode.
Which one?
Michael, let's talk your
Which
strat.
episode?
Let's talk your strat numbers.
Yeah. So we go to center field, and that's a position that is looking up based on 2022's results in the AL Central.
I can finally catch the ball.
Dawg, one of your favorite guys there, gets the one in center for the Twins.
Yeah, for Buxton. Wanted him for a long time for the Metsies. Just a great guy to go out there and pick it. And yeah, he proves it out with the solid one center. And pretty impressive. Two other ones in center as well for the division. So give him that. They at least get a little strength up the middle.
Yeah, Jerry, you talked about Miles Straw before, but also Michael Taylor, another guy from the Royals. Like we saw the Rays have a lot of guys all around, and of course the Yankees did too. But the Rays had like so many good fielders all around. The Royals seem to as well. Michael Taylor's anchoring it in center field with the one.
It hasn't translated as well, though. Like you said, they just haven't put, since they had the World Series team. And you know that they did everything they could to make those couple of teams that went to the World Series be what they could, and they knew that that was going to be at the expense of something coming later. And look, everyone would trade that, right? You'd rather be the Red Sox and have won those World Series and finished last 4 times than made the playoffs every year like the Yankees and not. I mean, maybe not, but to me, they knew that would happen, but they haven't now been able to use that defensive stance to kind of improve as much as you'd like to. But you look at the 3 ones in center field, and they're all just pure center field ones. It's not like one in center and then they also play. It's 3 pure ones, guys who play just center field. Now Buxton, if he can only stay healthy, could be a top 20 player in the league, right? He just hasn't. The way he plays it's a reckless. It's a Steve Kemp. Remember Steve Kemp would just run through the wall and not worry about if it was there. And Buxton is the same way. He just plays the game the way it should be played, but at the same time, you just want to play more than 45 games in a year and just see what he could do with a full season. But he keeps the one.
The young stud Riley Green from the Tigers gets a 2 in center. Derek Hill as well for the Tigers. So maybe like I like sometimes I wonder, are these good signs like for the Royals? They have all these good fielders. Maybe that means if a couple of other things come together, maybe that helps them, jump up here and like we kind of saw it with the Guardians, right? Like these things are in place. It might not take that much for a team like the Royals to jump back into the mix here with all these good fielders. Miles Straw, the one in center, Stephen Kwan, the one in left. Quan does get a 3 in center as well. You kind of feel like he's a guy that if he was playing center, he'd be a 2 and might even be able to push to
Yeah, he played about
to
20
be a 1.
games, I think, or so in center, only kind of out of necessity. He feels like a left fielder to me, but you're right. He could probably, if they needed to, move them over. But Kansas City, it just doesn't feel to me like there's now if Witt becomes the player they think that he's going to be, then great. O'Hearn is a piece, but it feels like to me that there's just have so far to go there.
I don't know. I think a lot has to do with the pitching too. But I love Pasquantino. I think they have some. I think they have some guys that they might be closer than you think. Luis Robert, I think he was always a 1 and he falls to a 3 for the White Sox. That's because of the injury probably and down season, right?
I think so. I think that he may be back on track if he plays more. I mean, he's got tools everywhere, right? He's been the toolsy guy that everybody's loved since he went over there. And I don't know if if he can stay healthy either. But here's the off season. They get a chance to kind of regroup with him, and the whole team just needs to have a reset out there. And if they do, there's a lot of good players on that team, and he can be an important part of that.
And Dawg will end center field with this one. We talked about his daddy before. Daz Cameron gets the 3. We'll just mention that. I think he's relocating from the Tigers this year. I don't think he's back in Detroit. I could be wrong about that. Daz Cameron with the 3 in center and the 3 in right. However, if a ball was about to fly over the wall, I just have a sense that somehow he would rob it. That's just me, dazzled by years of Mike Cameron. All right, to wrap it up.
Baltimore Orioles. He's a Baltimore Orioles property now, apparently.
Oh, is that where? Okay, yeah, there.
Okay.
Hey, good spot.
There you go.
Good spot to be in. There's one fielding rating number 1 in right field in the American League Central. And Jerry, it is Max Kepler, a guy who is, for some reason, was lighting up Twitter the past couple of days as like the Yankees have to get Max Kepler. Like, where did this come from?
The Yankees have to get every guy, right? Yeah. Now it's going to be the Mets and the Yankees on every guy who's out there, no matter what, whether he fits into their thing. I think Kepler is the guy.
Wait a minute. We didn't get this guy yet?
Not yet. Right. You need someone to hold on. Drag the balls out. Get him for that, right? Get on the horn, get on that. Yeah, he's an interesting guy. I think in Minnesota, he's he's a fan favorite out there for sure. He's a guy that the fans have taken to. I always feel like there's a little bit more that's there than has come out. Now he gets the 1 in the outfield, so defensively, I think he's everything that you want, but you always feel like there's just a little more that can come. But maybe this is the year. I don't know. Does he stay in Minnesota? Minnesota just has done nothing. They've been not in on any of the top 25 free agents, not even in on them. You don't even hear them mentioned as one of the teams for any of the free agents that are out there. So Kepler maybe just has to stay there by default. Someone's got to play right field.
Yeah, but why, like the Yankees again? Like, why are they worried about him? Like he's,
well, they play him in left. When they need a left fielder, they need a left fielder. I guess. I mean, can you put Cabrera in left field and be happy this year? I could. Like, I'd love to see them just like play one of their guys in left field and let him go. And you've got enough kind of guys around. You could play some, Hicks, and you could enough out there. But Kepler's a guy that anyone that's on a team that's not a top payroll team that you think you can pluck the guy, the name's going to come up in conversation, whether it makes sense or not.
When we were discussing like how we were going to break down this show, and should we do one whole big episode? Should we do 2, American League, National League, or should we do it by division or whatever? And then, we land on the 6 small episodes. And of course, at that time, Dawg was like, yeah, guys, let's just make sure we do 5 whole minutes on Max Kepler, whatever way we do it. That's what Dawg was insisting on.
Oh boy.
Yeah. There's really and it's Max Kepler is the one, Adam Engel, Kyle Isbell, Oscar Mercado gets a 2. Those are the only other 2s in the division. And we didn't mention Oscar Mercado before, playoff hero Oscar Mercado. So that's the guardian outfield of Quan in left as a 1, Straw in center as a 1, and Mercado in right as a 2. That tells you why the Guardians won the division last year, pretty much. That's, and then some of the other guys we mentioned in the infield, the 2 Mets that they got in the Lindor trade being, a 1 and a 2 respectively up the middle. Jose Ramirez at third, right? I mean, it's, Dawg just wants to make sure that we cover every possible angle
Oh boy.
in each division.
Just string this all together. Does this come with an intermission?
Yeah. Well,
It's a little dancing juju beats or something coming across.
All right. So that'll wrap up the AL Central. Follow Jerry Milani at GB Pack Jerry. That's Jerry with a J. And follow the Dawg at Jeff Healy 8. That's the number 8. You can follow me, Joe Rizzo, at Diamond Diehards. And we're Diamond Diehards everywhere on social media, even LinkedIn. It's all there. And if you haven't subscribed to the audio, we really need you to do that. We're really, really pushing to build our subscriber base there because it makes a huge difference. And, listen, it's great content, right? Like you go out, you go for a walk. You're not really looking at YouTube when you're out walking, right? You got to put on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, which is the one that I love a lot to use. And we need you to, follow, subscribe, whatever it is on there. If you've checked us out before, but you haven't subscribed, we really just need that small thing from you to keep it going. And, we hope to continue to give you great content. That is going to do it for the AL Central Strat-O-Matic Rating Bonanza for 2022. For Jerry Milani and the Dawg, Jeff Healy, this is Joe Rizzo. Diamond Diehards is out.